This is FYI, conversations with interesting people about fascinating projects happening in Ohio.
And welcome to FYI. I'm JT Bertram, 93.7 The Light and Hope 100.7. Today, I'm honored to be talking pets and pet safety, pet health with Dr. Kelly Fishman, a leader in veterinarian sports medicine. Welcome, Dr. Kelly. How are you today?
I'm doing great and happy to share all that I can on how to keep your dog happy and healthy.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. You had me at, I saw in your notes that dog owners live longer. I love that. I've got a couple dogs. I didn't know that. What makes dogs so valuable in our life?
Okay, how do I even?
Well, and let me not say,
Always.
let me say pets. Let me say pets.
Yes, because I also have a cat, and certainly
Yep.
it can be extremely valuable in keeping us living longer and healthier. The first thing is something that we all know, which is they're gigantic stress relievers. When you come home from a long day of work or there's a stressful situation, having your animal there to snuggle and to play with and interact with, they know how to bring us back to a good place. And, certainly they're huge stress reducers. And then there's been a few studies in humans showing the benefits of dogs. So one of the ones is that if you're a person and you've had a stroke or a heart attack, you will do better if you have someone in the home to help with your recovery. And that sounds, of course, pretty intuitive, but they did a study to show that it didn't have to be a person. It could actually just be a dog or a cat. So having them in our recovery is so beneficial. And then the other is with senior citizens who have dementia. So if you have someone in your family who is aging and they have that cognitive decline and dementia, if they have the responsibility of having to care for a dog or a cat, they actually have a more youthful brain, which is really, really helpful for, because that's such a terrible, debilitating thing to go through for that person and for the family. So knowing to have an animal in their life can help is just great. And the one that I focus on a lot, because my area of veterinary medicine is all about movement, is how dogs keep us moving. So people run with their dogs, and that's a great, way to exercise ourselves. And they have us go out for walks when it's cold outside. We have to go for a walk because even though we're tired and we're cold and we don't want to do it, our dog is so happy to see us when we get home from work and, doing whatever we're doing with our lives, like to take that time to even do a 5 to 10 minute walk with them is such a great health benefit for us humans. So it's great. And I always say they do so much for us, and what are some of the ways that we can help them live longer and feel better? Because that's our, responsibility for all the wonderful gifts that they give us.
Yeah. So how do animals help us live longer? I mean, obviously stress, you say, getting out and walking. Animals help us, and that is pretty cool. Dogs, cats, favorites?
My own personal?
Yeah.
I'm a huge cat person. I love kitties. I think they're wonderful animals. And, I got into a field of veterinary medicine, which again is physical rehabilitation and dog sports medicine. And dog sports are agility, hunting with your dog. Those are dog sports. So dogs are an animal that I'm surrounded with every day. And I love dog energy. It's always positive. They're always there to be, just great little companions. But I'm personally a cat person, but also equally love dogs. And then horses are my number 3.
Interesting.
Yes.
So what are some of the things we can do for our pets to help increase their life and keep them healthy? Are there things? Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So there is actually a study in dogs showing that they can live longer by 2 years. And what that study is that dogs who are kept trim and lean, they will have a longer lifespan by up to 2 years. So we have that study. We know that. And limit trim and lean doesn't mean that they're starving. It just means that you keep them a little bit thin. So that's a huge impact on longevity and also having less health conditions as they age, which is very, very important. And then another one, again, back to exercise, back to staying strong. If you have a dog that you are able to keep moving, even if that means, having German Shepherds in a large yard and you're letting them have access to a couple acres to run around and be active on, and they're maintaining strength, they're less likely to have what's called frailty in old age. And that means that they're less likely to be a dog that's going to slow down, that's going to not be able to jump in and out of the car or walk up and down steps. So if we keep them strong as they age, they certainly move into their golden years with more strength and vitality, which is so important.
Yeah. Now you mentioned, getting our pets out, particularly dogs, out for walks. What are other things we can do with our pets to keep them healthy and alert? Other activities?
So many. So in the dog rehab space, we have hundreds of exercises for dogs, which I think blows people's minds. You would never know that you could do doggy push-ups or dog squats or dog crunches. Yeah, you can. So I teach my pet parents and my clients ways to do those exercises. Some of the ones that I typically share that are easy to do would be something called a doggy ninja warrior. And I named this after a French bulldog that I had. And this bulldog was, like most Frenchies, are predisposed to getting compressions in their back. And their mom wanted to make sure that the dog was going to not have an increased risk of having compressed disc and pain later on in life. So I taught her Doggy Ninja Warrior, which is setting up, a variety of unstable surfaces and agility jumps and tunnels for the dog to walk through. So an example would be an air mattress to a Bosu ball, which is a human, type of exercise equipment, to a dog agility jump. And then as the dog is walking or trotting along that, they're building balance and they're building muscle, because unfortunately doing walk isn't going to be doing much to actually build muscle in a targeted way. Just like if we go for walks, they're great for, getting outside and for mental health, but they're not going to do much to specifically build your muscles like your quads or your biceps or things like that. You have to do strength exercises for those. So keeping them moving with exercises like that are really great ways to build strength.
Are there things we should avoid? Are there things that, yeah?
Well, the things are to avoid are, it really has to first think about how old your dog is. So puppies, we certainly want to avoid high impact things like running on concrete or doing a lot of jumping down and a lot of spinal twisting, just because there's a possibility that they can, it could affect their growing bones in negative ways. Typically adult healthy dogs, you can, really push them. You could do runs with them. You could do swims and paddle boarding. You could do those dog exercises. And as long as you haven't been told by your veterinarian that they have any kind of medical issue, like hip dysplasia or anything like that, then that's something that you could safely do. And then our senior dogs lose muscle mass, just like us. So humans start to lose it in their 30s to 35 to 40-year-old range, is what I've heard. And dogs lose it similarly as they age. So our older dogs are losing body awareness and more likely to trip and fall, and they're losing muscle. So it's very important to keep those dogs moving. A lot of times as our dogs slow down, you let them rest more, but that's actually the wrong thing to do. They should be moving as much as possible.
Now, speaking of dogs' age, is it true that there's like 7 dog years? Is that still a true thing?
No, maybe it was never true.
Where did I hear that? Okay.
Yeah, so it's a little bit more complicated because we know that dogs age differently based on their breed. So a Chihuahua is going to age slower because it's going to live to 15 years old, and a Great Dane is going to age quickly because it is going to only age, it'll average lifespan is around 7. So we don't unfortunately have a simple way of understanding how the dogs are aging, just because there's so many factors in that.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great way. Well, and then you also work with horses quite a bit. So I'm guessing that's probably a little, a whole different arena. Yes.
Yeah, it certainly is. And horses are the ones we learned so much about dog sports medicine from the people who are working with horses, because the horse people were focused first on keeping their horses moving and keeping their body feeling good, using tools like chiropractic and massage and muscle building supplements to try to keep them strong. Yeah.
So what are things you do with your pets to keep them healthy on a personal level? Anything?
Yeah, I can share that, of course. So I currently have, and I've, had dogs in my past, and I've had at one point 3 cats. Now I just have 1 cat. But what I do for him is I give him probiotics. So probiotics are wonderful for just, overall gut support, but they can also be incredibly calming. So we found that you can give probiotics that are really beneficial for calming. So I do an animal specific probiotic, which is an important thing for people to know. If you're going to add a probiotic, pick something that's specifically designed for pets. And pick something that is actually, full of a few different types of, the microbiome is kind of what they call it. That's helping to supplement the natural kind of gut health. And then I give my cat another supplement called Fortitropin, and it's specifically found in a brand called Myos Pet. And what that does is it has been proven to maintain muscle mass and build muscle mass. And why do I give that to a cat, right? I give it to my cat because he has kidney disease and he has arthritis because he's 11 years old. And I want my cat to live to 18 years old. This is my goal. Okay. And what I really want to do is this, he's 11 and to get to 18, I know that he's going to turn into one of those kitties that could be really frail and not be able to play with his, favorite mouse toys or do what we call in my house his job, which is to keep the little mice in the house at bay. And so I really want him to stay strong and stay moving and not have, to give him something that'll really combat that muscle loss that he's experiencing because of his kidney disease and because he is a senior kitty with arthritis. So those are my nutritional things for my cat that I do every day, which he tolerates. I never thought my cat would be one that I could put probiotics and Myos Pet on, and he loves it.
Interesting. Well, yeah. For the pet lovers who want to know more, they can keep up with you, strutanimal.com. You're on all the socials, Strut Animal. Dr. Kelly Fishman, boy, time flies when we're having fun, doesn't it?
It sure does.
Thank you so much for sharing today and helping us think about our pets, how to keep them healthy and how they keep us healthy too.
Yeah, and thank you for having me on. And I hope you have more pet content to come.
There we go. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, JT. It was nice talking to you.
And you.